Well, hello. I haven't gotten around to filming recently, for the whole week rather. It is actually Monday today, and I couldn't film still because there is construction just right outside the window of the room where I usually film, which is our kitchen. So there's a lot of construction going on, so I'm just doing my best to at least get this on camera because I'm going to keep this book now. I have finished for the week. Two books actually. The first one is the one that I have been reading for the past week, which is Tsar's Madman. This is a historical drama sort of book wherein the person is in the perspective, actually I think I failed to mention this. It is in the perspective of the brother-in-law of the person who was deemed as a crazy person by the Tsar and was imprisoned. And this whole book is actually all of his like journal entries. It's all journal entries of like what happened with the guy, what he is seeing between his sister and his brother-in-law, their family, and also his own personal struggles with society in general. It is a very, as I think about it, it's a very forward sort of thinking when it comes to politics and such for its time period. What was the it is in 1827 with their first entry here, and it's already like making its way to deeming monarchy or the setup of like parliaments and such as very obsolete. And the person, this is slight spoiler, but it's generally the thing that it is the main topic of in this book, is that he is like ranting and petitioning to the Tsar to change their way of government from like a parliamentary monarchical style to a very republic style, wherein the vote should be with the people, very democratic. And to think that there is this one person who has the courage to write letters to the Tsar saying he wants a change in the government and something like that. But I really enjoyed this. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. I also annotated this, and I think I mentioned this in one of the previous videos that I have, that I couldn't sell this because, as you can see, I have painted on it. And this was supposed to be like a what do you call this, art journal for me. And so I painted a bunch of these pages and also like collage in here, but the damage in general is just like the first 5 pages, so it's fine for me. I can still read it, but I of course cannot sell this anymore if I planned on. But instead, since I can't sell it, I just annotated in it. So I have here like my highlights, like for quotes that I like. Notes are the ones that forward the plot sort of notes. Interesting are the parts wherein I find that it's very interesting when it comes to like cultural differences and also their relationships with the family and with other political figures and such. Excuse me is literally me exclaiming excuse me or WTF on a sentence and such. And there are a lot here wherein I find their like romantic and sexual relationships weird and very well, I guess during that time it's morally acceptable, but now it's not. Like for example, they have like wives that are barely 18 and such, and we'll see. I'm not sure. It's still a work of fiction, but it goes with a time wherein women are like being treated as like ladies of the household, and their only role was to be like the mother and such. And even at the young age, they are like nobles will be for nobles and such. And there are a lot here wherein like I can't really explain how gross it sounds, but there are a lot of plot twists here with those relationships that I find like, oh my god, so that's why. So anyway, the next here, The Darkest Blue, will be for, or is for my moments wherein I find it very funny. Like for us it's like very common, but for them it's not, and then they exclaim in a very dramatic fashion, and I really enjoyed that. And then I do have like, for the previous like clips that I filmed for this, I have a different like sticky tabs. I failed to remember what it's called. It's a sticky tabs that I actually ordered, came in, and I was able to change up. And this is sort of like a darker red, wherein this is more pinkish, but still it is very confusing. However, I do only have like a few confused moments, like 2 or 3, so it doesn't matter. I do have a lot of favorite moments and notable moments, as well as the funny ones. The wait what is also with the excuse me part, because it like threw me off, like the plot twist and such. So I have here all of the annotations, now very pretty to look at. Although my like placemat is not the best to see these, but there are a lot of like wait what moments, so many white ones I've noticed, because it's like to us it's morally not appropriate, and there are like moments wherein this is not really a spoiler because there is not, it doesn't move the plot that much, but it's like an information, like a, what do you call this, a passing phrase, wherein the wife of this one nobleman is actually the daughter of the woman that he wanted to marry, which is like he fell in love with the mom but settled for the daughter. That sort of situation. So and yeah, so that's the common like thing in this book, but still I enjoyed it. And I also wanted to show you, actually this is like a container for cookies and such. This is like my annotation book reading box that I call it. So I put here all of like my sticky tabs, my review notepads. These are like notepads for when I want to write something, like my comments on it, without writing directly in the book. This is like my vintage sticky note tabs, again the one that I've used in the book. I have all of my highlights here, some pens that I use to write notes with, bookmarks, different types of bookmarks. But every time I read, I keep this on my side just to be handy with all of the things that I need for reading and annotating. And also like this one is my notebook for or reading journal rather. So here we have the Tsar's Madman 4-star. If you would like to read, you could read, but this is very spoilery. It took me how many days? 9 days to read through all of it, if my math is correct, or 8 or 9 days. Because, well, finish early. I don't count the hours anymore of when I read, but 4 out of 5. I decided basically to do this instead, wherein if I have like something I have finished reading, I do give like started, finish, and ratings, and then final thoughts and such. I put the ratings up at the top with the title. So like for example, Disclosure was 4-star, Tsar's Madman was a 4-star, and I did mention that I finished 2 books this week. I actually finished The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I haven't finished writing all of my final thoughts in this. However, The Only One Left, I have heard from one booktuber that this is like the best of like Riley Sager, because his previous ones are like problematic, but this is one of his better works, I guess is what you call it. I gave this actually a 5-star. I have finished this book the night of September 1. I started this around, I think, 9 a.m. and it's just 280 pages for the PDF, so it's fine. But I started this around 9 a.m. I finished it around 11:30 p.m. Granted, I didn't read that much in the middle of the day because I was out, but as soon as I came home, I started reading it again and I couldn't stop. So what this was is about a caregiver who was hired to take care of probably one of the most like notorious, or like, what do you call that? She's basically tasked to take care of a suspected murderer, which was who was very old, of course, a 70-something old woman who was suspected to kill 3 people in her mansion. She was very rich, but somehow she was the only one who survived the murder of both her parents and her younger sister. And so this whole book tells the story of what actually happened at night, and she was going to like share her story through writing a sort of narrative or a book while the caregiver was there. And I find that I only have read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager other than The Only One Left. So for me, I actually noted this down here. I don't know if how far I've written. This is also like, I don't think this is a spoiler actually that I've written here, but both books I have noticed a pattern on, wherein the main character is a female that has no choice with their work because they needed the money. They are emotionally abandoned or like detached. Like for example, Lock Every Door, the girl, the main character, was an orphan. In this case, the only one left, she has lost her mother, and her father is not that like emotionally supportive of her, and then they just like either just broke up with someone or like don't have that really emotional attachment to their so-called lover, but they're not necessarily like, that's not necessarily a lover in that case. And then they move into this house wherein it's like very much filled with rumors. There is a very handsome man that lives near her. There is a girl that is before her that is very friendly and is the friend of the person who the main character is replacing their job with, that is actually missing. And then there is this older woman as well that is very strict with the rules, and main character is trying to break those rules just to get to the bottom of the mystery of this house. And very much so, that is the pattern of both The Only One Left and Lock Every Door, and then it ends up with like a very dramatic ending for the main character. But anyway, it is more or less better for me compared to Lock Every Door. So if ever you want to read Riley Sager's books, this is not horror, it's more mystery thriller, and it is very tolerable. It's a murder mystery, it's storytelling, and for me at least this is better compared to Lock Every Door. So yeah, I actually gave this a 5 out of 5, and so that is the 2 books that I have finished for this week that I am filming on. Hello there, it is Tuesday today. I wasn't able to film yesterday actually because of the construction that's going on outside where I am filming, which is our kitchen. So I live in like the upper floors, and then right outside our windows, like the rooftops of some of the other residential houses, and there is like construction going on the rooftop, and like it's very noisy, and we get it, it always happens. And since I wasn't able to film yesterday, I just went ahead and decided on doing the spread again and just come back here to talk about it and update you with all of the things. Today was actually very exhausting because I was cleaning up one of like my boxes, like the box wherein I put all of my art materials in and such, as like a storage container box sort of situation. However, I did manage to like find a bunch of stuff that I could probably use in like a stash down video of some sort, like a lot of magazines and a lot of like backgrounds and such that I've been hoarding, school materials that I've been hoarding that I could possibly throw away, but like I'm being too sentimental right now, so that's why I haven't been throwing away a bunch of the stuff that I have found, but I'm going to organize it in a bit. Let me move the camera just a smidge. There we go. So this is the spread for this week. Yesterday was quite fun. Even though this is supposed to be for next week's video, it's fine. I'm just going to talk about it now because I don't think I am allowed to show it on YouTube. I'm not sure, but to be on the safe side, I won't be showing that, but I'm just going to tell the story. Yesterday evening, around 9 p.m. or such, I was like updating my journals and such, and then I heard like random noises of like sirens and people shouting. And earlier this year, there is actually or was it last year? Now I forgot, but it was a long time ago. There was a fire that happened right across the street from us, because my house is basically at a street wherein there's like a lot of auto supply and auto parts, and then of course there's a lot of motor oil, tires and such, and it's very much a fire hazard. And so right across the street there was a fire due to like motor oil and like some sort of appliance that was left out. And so when I heard the sirens and I heard the people shouting, I was so scared that maybe there was another fire happening. So I went out to the garden with my mom, and there we actually saw like there is a local TV show, action TV show that is being filmed in the city. And tonight they were doing like a police chase scene of some sort, and it was almost right outside our home, and I was able to like watch behind the scenes in the safety of our balcony the scene unfolding, like the filming part, and it was kind of like very cool. But I'm also like hiding from all of the like drones that are on the air doing the aerial shots and such, and it was very fun. So the panic subsided quite quickly, so it was like very cool thing to see, and I just wanted to talk about it today. And for my spread here, I did happen to print out, like, the beginning of the week was when Danheng Imbibitor Lune came out, and I wasn't actually gunning for him. I was actually going for Kafka, but I was 50-50, and I didn't have enough of the, like, Stellar Jades, you call it, for my pulls, because I wasn't playing at all for the past few months, or like for the past few weeks, I mean, with Star Rail, because I couldn't beat the latest boss, like the big woman, and I wasn't gunning for, as I've said, Danheng. I wanted actually either to, like, lose to Vllo or Jeopard at this point, but at 78-50, Danheng came home, and that's fine actually. So at least I have, like, both Blade and Danheng in one team, so it's kind of awkward, but it's also cool. Other than that, I did manage to, like, finish my physical therapy this week, wherein my doctor did mention that I should, like, go once a week for maintenance, but since my PT said that I could do, like, home exercises, that will be fine, and I will just go back if ever I have some questions or, like, feel like pain during my exercises, so that's fine. But I did manage to print out this little kitty cat. She often lies down on the mat right in front of the elevator, so when people come down from the elevator, she was the first one to greet them, and it's kind of cute. But she's also kind of, like, not that kitty who warms up to people. She's very cautious and on guard, but on this day, she, like, keeps looking at the camera, which is very adorable. So I printed out a picture of her. And I also am doing a vlog sort of situation with my anime challenge for the month of September, wherein I am going to, like, watch and spin a wheel of, like, all of the anime that I listed down, and then whatever the wheel lands on, I will watch it, and the video won't end until I get a 10 out of 10 rating for the anime that the wheel landed on. So that is what I'm working on. The problem with this is that if it's a long-term vlog, there might be minimal, like, space in my phone memory, so I am having trouble doing this, but still it's quite fun. I'm discovering, like, I am able to, like, watch all of the anime that I haven't gotten around to, that I'm very excited about. So yeah, that is, like, the only thing that happened this week, which is very small. And for the week that is after this, the day that I'm filming, Freminet will be debuting a banner with Zhongli and Child. I will be, like, probably screen recording that poll. We'll see. And then tomorrow, the day after I'm filming this, we will be going on a road trip, as long as it is not raining, because it has been, like, storming recently, and it's nice that today is very clear. And so that is it for this week. I hope you enjoy. I'm sorry, it's not that much. It's just, like, me pulling for games, reading a book or two and talking about it, and then the spread. So I hope there's more for next week's video, but if not, then we'll just see. So until then, guys, take care and bye.